welcome to another episode of Ask Tom. Now, this week, our question comes from Paris, France, and it's a gentleman by the name of Claude who emailed me and said this. Hi, Tom. Best way to get the B sound. Pronounce it as D? How did you finally pull off the diabolical D? Thanks, Claude from Paris. And P.S., I learned the art on the internet and the Mayer course on Kindle. Hey, Claude, thank you so much for taking the time to write to me. And I appreciate the English because I speak no French at all. I hope everything's okay over there. I know you guys had some serious issues in Paris, and I trust that you're safe and know that my thoughts and prayers are with all of us as we face, the evil in the world. Let's hope we can make some people laugh through ventriloquism. You learned the way a lot of people learn on the internet. A lot of people tune in and they get free videos and they think, oh, I can do this. You at least went ahead and moved on to the Mayer course on Kindle, which that took a lot of work to move over. But so glad that we did that and we're able to preserve that history. And honestly, when I studied the Mayer course, I didn't like any of the explanations for B. I just didn't like them. And the one that was the most accurate was the one that they didn't describe in very good detail. And I had major troubles with it. I go through it in depth in my Learn Ventriloquism course. But that's a $97 course, and not everybody wants to spend $97 to learn this art properly. I don't know why, because if you do one show, you can pay that back. You can make more than your money. In fact, we have coupons available for, $50 off puppets, $100 off if you decide you want to, create a website. We've got script books in there, things that literally make that course worth more than the investment. But that doesn't answer your question. So how did I get the letter B down? Practice. It's a lot of practice. Now, you're told to substitute D, and in a way, that's right, but it's not, because most people just say doy or daughter, do, die, sickle. It's not right. It's not D, and you can tell that because you're listening to yourself, and you know it doesn't sound right. And a friend of mine once said, we're trained to hear that. Now, when I listen to Ken Groves, and he does his Betty bought a bit of bitter butter, it sounds like Betty bought a bit of bitter butter. It's not Deddy daughter did a ditter dutter. Just not. So the B can be created. How do you do it? Well, I'm going to give you the basics of it. The first thing is airflow. You've got to have airflow. Okay? If you don't have the right pressure behind the sound, it's not going to come out as a B. The second thing is you've got to play with the positioning of your tongue, because you're not saying D, you're modifying that sound. So you may start out saying D, but if you keep playing with the position of your tongue and the way it curves inside your mouth, and that's a big secret of it, the tongue doesn't touch your mouth like it does with D. It touches it completely different. You've got to play with that positioning against the upper part of your mouth and your teeth. Okay? You're going to play with that positioning. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But when you hit it right and you have the right pressure behind it, you'll get a B. There's no magic secret to it. Even in my course, as much as I go through it and I explain it to people, they have issues with it. But that's why we have a members forum in there, so people can ask questions and we can kind of clarify things. And over the time, we've got pages on the letter B in that course. And you can go down through them and go, wow. In fact, when we put together the Mayer Interactive course, which is a $397 course, because you get interaction with Mark Wade, Ken Groves, and myself, and you get one-on-one coaching over the internet. When we put that together, we realized that you don't have to say D. You can actually say B, and we came up with a much simpler way of describing it. I mean, it was revolutionary when we put this out, and we haven't shared it with anybody because there's a reason that course is worth so much. It's because it can take you from beginning to pro. And my course can do the same. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but all the stuff that we distilled down into the Mayor course is available in my course. It's just you've got to condense it and you've got to practice with it, and you don't get that one-on-one coaching over the internet. So I hope that kind of answers your question. I know it's a long-winded one. Thanks for sticking through it with me. And folks, if you have a question you'd like to ask, all you got to do is head over to the Learn Ventriloquism website, click on the SpeakPipe app or the Ask Tom link below any of the Ask Tom videos. You'll go to the SpeakPipe app page. You can ask your question there, or you can send me an email to info@learn-ventriloquism.com. Make sure you answer. Make sure you put Ask Tom in the subject line so I know it's a question for this show. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next week.